Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Yesterday's giveaway is now closed. So if you haven't had a chance to catch that video, do stay tuned for future ones. There won't be a giveaway in every video, but there are plenty of giveaways. At the minute, my list stands at 7 giveaways in total. So there's still 6 more to come, but they are only open for 24 hours. So passwords will no longer work on the website because I haven't yet done another giveaway to tell you what the next one is. But we are on, of course, day 6, which the decision wheel chose section 30. Very much likes this bottom corner does my decision wheel. I suppose it doesn't know which way I'd numbered them, so there is that, but it definitely seems to like the lower numbers, so we'll see how much we can curl this up. I did manage to knock one of my trays doing orders today. That was entertaining to say the least, but luckily I did manage to get hold of them all. So I'm just going to scroll down so I get to the oldest comments so we can chit and chat through a few of those. Looks like we have another very white section today, so let's see how many comments I can get through. I'm going for the fold over. This is a poured glue canvas, so I can get away with sort of folding it back on itself a bit, which keeps my diamonds safe. Of course, normally I do normally do my diamond paintings in rows. I love mixing it up every now and then. So the June waffle and the Advent, I do really enjoy the fact that I am doing sort of different sections each day, but there is also something to be said for doing things in an order, in a nice straightforward order is always nice as well. And yeah, I suppose we're boxing off a corner now, which is quite nice to do. So Amy, also just before I go on to Amy's comment, this is a gorgeous pen that was gifted to me by Cindy. It's actually been made by Bella's diamond painting pens. So that's my pen for today. I've used this in a few waffles and a few Advents now. I've had this one for a little while. I have changed a lot of them out to metal tips where possible, but this still has my little plastic straightener in it, which I may or may not need today. See how straight I can get these placed. So Amy, she says she will just be doing whatever she feels like this June waffle. She is going to try and finish some of her whips and not start new ones. She's going to leave the cross stitch conversion for now, she said. It is a nice time in June to sort of clear the decks. If you have a lot of whips ongoing, it can be the ideal time to sort of go, right, I am working my way through them. I am going to finish these off and start July with something exciting. And if you have quite a few, it means you get satisfaction multiple times throughout the month. The satisfaction of finishing a painting. I did notice somebody in the group is sharing a painting they're working on, which they love the design, so the image and how the image is turning out, but the working on the diamond painting is not as nice. so it's not particularly a really enjoyable one for them to work on, but the finished piece is enjoyable. So the likes of a waffle and doing a section a day is an ideal time to do something like that, because you're not doing, you know, so much that you feel like it's never going to end. You can do a section on it a day, and then if you've still got time to diamond paint, you can maybe move on to something you enjoy a bit more. So you get the benefit of sort of finishing a piece that you do like, but in turn, you know, you're not working on it too much each day. I have got a couple that don't seem major straight there. We'll see if that one gets nudged back out with my other diamonds. Amy says she would use some scissors along the lines on my painting and then stick them back down. Yeah, my problem is at the minute with this clear cover is some of it is coming off fine and some of it isn't. So I have been taking the time before each whip and chat just to go over it with my knife, just to make sure that the clear plastic cover is all coming off, and do it sort of slowly and gently rather than trying to say hello and waffle along at exactly the same time. Yeah, I'm just making sure that I'm not leaving any little plastic bits behind. But it's not too bad, and it will get easier as it goes along. I think I will just try my best where possible to use cover paper going forward, because I do like the reveal with cover paper as well. If I do get some bits that are a little bit troublesome, maybe I will switch some bits out for cover paper, but we'll see how we go. For now, it does seem to be responding to just a little bit more of a tweak, a little bit more of a cut through each section to allow me to take it all off. Jo, she says, happy first day of June waffle. She said she didn't think that she would be able to join in because May did get crazy around here. She said, but she finished today's section just as I finished. She says, Rebecca, she says, I have lots to catch up on. And here's hoping, she said, she'll be able to do her one section a day. Thank you for the great waffle, as always. It's good that you got to join in, Jo. And it's nice that you got to join in day one. I have already seen there's some people playing a little bit of catch up. There's some people just going with the flow. So if they miss some days, they miss some days. It happens. But then they are picking it up again when they can. I think that's the main thing. If you find that actually catching up on a June waffle is causing you problems, you know, like maybe you've had a busy few days and you're like, I can't catch up with 3 days, so I just won't bother. Just do the one. Just do the one day. Don't worry about catching up. Take it into July if you need to. But still try and get your bit of me time each day, because you deserve it. And you don't need to give up just because you're trying to get 2 or 3 times sections of me time because of how life's been. Don't give up on the first hurdle. Oh, I think there is orders being collected, because I've just heard lunar bark, which means the door's gone. So that is probably, I'm filming this the day before, that is probably the American orders going out for the day. It's a little bit early for the others. But yeah, so apologies if you did hear Luna barking. If you didn't, believe me, she was. Kerry says, woohoo, she says, first mini painting for June waffle. She has done. She said she's also started a mini conversion kit and she's loving it. She said the question is, do I do another mini painting now? If you have time to diamond paint a little bit more. She says, and get 2 done. Why not? If you're enjoying it, then do it. If you're not enjoying it, then don't. You've got your bit of me time. Leave it at a point of enjoyment. But yeah, you don't even have to say I'm doing a certain section. Maybe you just are able to put this video on and give yourself the hour, a bit longer than an hour, depending on the section and how much I waffle. And just give yourself that amount of time to diamond paint. Depends on your life's structure. And yeah, how your days are set up as to what you get to do. Some people play big catch up at the weekend. I see posts getting updated for multiple days at the weekend, and it's like they just don't get the time in the week as much to do some. They might get a little bit of time but not a lot, and therefore at the weekend they're able to allocate themselves a bit more time to their hobbies. Jackie said when she first started a big block of one colour, she said she did use her 5-placer, putting diamonds down against a straight edge of either one of my metal rulers, she says, or the big white straightening tool. So that's an idea. Use one of those to get you your straight lines, and then you can multi-place up to them afterwards. Those big white straightening tools are probably a really good one. I often just end up using a gift card. I think my Hobbycraft card ended up in one of my cover paper holders, and I don't think it's moved yet. Every time I go, they end up looking me up by postcode because it's just not made it back into my purse. But hey ho. At the moment, all they do is email me asking to review anyway. I've not seen any other rewards from it, so we'll see how it goes. Jaina, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, happy June Waffle. She says, this will be my first time jumping on the bandwagon, and she's very excited. Well, welcome, Jaina. She says she's working on a pretty looking lighthouse painting to display near their guest room. She said also she is doing a bit better than last time. Her family member has made a quick recovery. That's awesome, she said, and it's such a relief to hear. That is good. She said still no job news, but she has started the hunt once again. She said, so we will see. It'd be nice to get that all lined up for the beginning of July. Enjoy a bit of the nice weather, but you know, not too long, but just enough to be able to enjoy a little bit of the weather and of course your diamond painting. She said, quick question. She says, what would be your suggestions for providers of spare drills? She said she had the pleasure of running out of a colour on her last painting, and she said she didn't want to wait weeks for the seller to send her one package of roughly 50 drills. She said she's considering getting a bulk amount of common colours, so she has a backup, she says, but that's still in the air. A lot depends on whether you want square or round. I've always been happy with the drill quality from Evermoment on AliExpress. They only do squares though, so I've always been happy with the drill quality of those. If you just after some as an emergency, therefore, you know, it's not worth investing a lot just for that odd time. Though I do get your frustration of waiting for replacements to arrive. I completely get that. Maybe fan sales or coup deals would be a good place to get a selection of drills to have as spares. Or, of course, your other option, and this is the option that I sway towards, is if you haven't got the colour that you may have run out of, join and ask in one of the Got Diamonds Facebook groups. So there's a Got Diamonds UK, there's one for most countries, and actually other people are more than happy to send you out diamonds to help you finish a painting. I had one that I ran out of a colour early on in my diamond painting journey. I think it may have even been like 995 or 996, of which now I have gazillions of. But at the time I didn't have any spares of them. And I asked on the Got Diamonds group, and somebody in the UK posted them to me, and they were with me within a couple of days, because it's within your own country, so shipping's a lot quicker. But if you do just want a selection for spares, I'd go for fan sales or coup deals probably, just to be able to get a quick selection without spending a fortune. Because frankly, you should spend your money on diamond paintings and accessories, because they are the things that you tend to use more and more each time that you use it often when you diamond paint, and they're more likely to make you smile than packets of drills. Though I know many people do just buy a pack of each spare drills. I guess it's how we're built. People are built different, and some people like to have, you know, one of each of most of the colours to be able to start off their spares collection and just have that peace of mind that if something runs out, they have a spare colour. Laurie, she says she is so glad that it is the 1st of June and the start of the June waffle. She said it's been a very sad, tear-jerky 2 days. Oh no. She says a wonderful horse named Dixie from Longhorn Leicester's Ranch is going to be put down due to a brain tumour today. She said, and the farewell videos have had her sobbing with the to be expected swollen eyes today. Oh, rest in peace, Dixie. She says it's tough to see this comment that she's writing, she says, because of those swollen eyes. But she wanted to let me know that she is ecstatic for a 60+ minute video. Yeah, every single one seems to be over 60 minutes in varying degrees for the June waffle. So I am taking advantage at the moment of Megan still being on half term and trying to get, so I'm filming tomorrow's video now as sort of earlier on in the afternoon so that I can keep my evenings free for just a little bit longer. Whereas next week I'll need to do them in the evening before the next day. But it's all good. It's a good job I love June waffles. I just come in and turn the camera on and get going. Yesterday's was a big one, and I know it was a big one because I had to change the battery. I figured I have one battery that is very good at lasting about an hour or just over an hour. And I keep using said same battery for waffles so that I don't have to take my camera down from its setup rigging. I don't have to drag it down and change the battery and put it back up to then get 5 more minutes and then have to take it down again to get my memory card out. So yeah, I know yesterday's was a long one because I did need to do that. Hopefully today's will be a-okay, with it having a lot of white and no giveaway thrown in it. So we'll be drawing the winner and contacting them via email for that one. She said, your smiling voice and waffling, she said, was the break that she needed, and she just wanted to say thank you. Well, I'm glad I could help a little bit, Laurie, on what seems to have definitely been a tough couple of days. She said, till tomorrow, she said, have a wonderful day and give somebody a hug, she said, as life changes so quickly. That is so true. We all never know what is around the corner. We can just act and pray and hope that it is all good. She says, P.S. She says, sorry for being so maudlin. She says, but she just loves all the animals at Dixie's original home. She said, I'm a survivor sanctuary home for donkeys and farm animals. She said, and she sobs even today when thinking of some of the animals that have crossed the Rainbow Bridge, she said, in previous years. She said she'll be much better tomorrow after having a good eye cleaning today. Sometimes a good eye cleaning is just needed. And it's not always about the one thing that starts the eye cleaning. Sometimes it is just a clear out of anything that is pent up. And it can be really good for you. Amy says she thinks that the green gravy could be veg gravy. Yeah, I did look up green gravy and somebody has sent me a recipe for it as well. I think I personally will be sticking to standard gravy. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to pour a green liquid onto my food at the moment. I think, yeah, I'll stick with what I have for now. Julie, she says hi. She says this is her first waffle. She said she has just completed her first round painting and she's decided to try a square one for this month. She said she's looking forward to seeing everybody's progress. Slow and steady with squares. I love squares. For some people it twigs straight away. With squares, for others, it does take a little bit of getting used to. I think I did a round and then my second, it was either my second or my third painting that was a square. And that match actually may have helped me get used to squares because it wasn't a matter of getting used to doing it one way and then trying to change. I was still learning how to do rounds. So I learned how to do squares alongside it. And yeah, I love doing both now. I do like mixing them up. There are times when squares are my favourite, but it can depend on the painting itself. There are some paintings that just, all the fractions of a millimetre are just perfect for the whole clicking together. And it just works wonderful. And there are others that are still great, but just don't have that little edge. And yeah, sorry, my memory card saved. Rounds are just quicker, so that can often be a nice change for finishing a painting off faster. Getting those paintings tick done. Jess, she says, woohoo, she says, June waffle is on. She says she's kind of glad that I didn't tray up all my diamonds before the video. She says she bets that the 2 unused colours will be in the next box. Close, but not quite, Jess. So the first box that I did, I kit up, or I put into my trays every single colour apart from 2. The next box, I did 1 of the colours, but I actually only added 550, I think it was yesterday. I've only just started using that colour 5 days in. But now all my trays have colours in. She said she's one of those multi-placers that can place in either direction. She said she did start multi-placing from the very start. She said she highly recommends picking up a ceramic blade for cutting finicky clear covers. I do actually have one. I do actually have a ceramic blade. I just can't see where I'm cutting as well with it, so I always end up going back to my cheap and cheerful ones that you can just get in a pack with like 3 different sizes for £1. And I use the thin ones for cutting the likes of my diamond paintings, and I use the big thick ones for opening boxes for the shop. They're all over the house. They're all in different areas of the house depending on where I open parcels. But yeah, they just seem to be spread out everywhere. Some near the table, some near the kitchen, some near the front door. If boxes are that big, I've got quite a few. She says, but she does recommend a ceramic blade and using a metal ruler to keep it straight. She said she is excited for the start of June events. Yes, it's a good month. We have the weather, or most of us have the weather. We have the weather. It's not quite got too hot yet. I'm sure I'll be moaning it's too hot soon enough, because we do have hotter weather coming. I do occasionally feel like I keep moving this arm so that I'm not leaning on the same part of the desk because it makes me too warm. But yeah, it's a good month for it. Sherry says, well, we're here again. She says, a waffling time. She is working on a new craft to her, new to me craft, Pixel Hobby. She said it is so much like diamond painting, but different enough, she said, to have her attention. She said she's loving it, but she is still working on her diamond painting whips as well. Well, that sounds fun. Is that the one that's like little, a bit like mini Lego that you click into each other? Is that what that one is? Pixel, so rather than it being sticky, you put it onto like a baseboard. I think that's the one. Sarah, she said, here is a tip that she's seen but not tried yet. She said so she can never get large swaths of white or light coloured drills to look good. She said due to grid lines and gapping. She said the tip is to buy some white mica powder and brush it over the diamonds to make the grid lines disappear. I do actually have that in my list of tips and tricks. It was passed to me by Margaret, who I've not seen in a while. I am hoping she is all a-okay. It's one of the people that I've been sort of thinking about when I don't see them for a while, of which there are a few, but I don't want to keep shouting them out. But yeah, Margaret actually showed me a piece that she did it with, and it's been on my tips and tricks list. When I was doing or when I first started my big tips and tricks, which I do still know I need to finish off. Maybe I need to make that a challenge as soon as all Advent prep is done and I can concentrate a bit more. I just didn't have a painting to do it on in that first sort of batch that I did. So I really could do with getting some and maybe doing it on another painting, having a look if I've got any still left over that could do with it. Or maybe do it on this one though. The gapping's not too big on this one at all, and the grid lines are really pale on this one, so you don't see the grid lines the same you can with some others. I need to have a look if I had gaps on my Admiral Zest logo, but yeah, I just struggled with one to use as an example to be able to do it with. That was my problem, was an example diamond painting. So it's still on my tips and tricks list. I've just not been able to implement it yet. She said you can also do this with other light colours if you can find a mica colour that's close to the drills. Yeah, so I say that is something that's on my list. I just need to focus a bit more on the tips and tricks and try and get them finished. A lot of my thinking time recently, or over the past few months, seems to have gone on Advent, but we're getting so close to getting things sorted for that today. We did place an order the other day for all the packaging, well, not all the packaging, for most of the packaging that we'll need. So we placed an order for the bags that we need to put each day's goodies in. They should arrive this week. And once they do, the plan is then we also have ordered a few sample sizes of some boxes to, of course, be able to ship Advent in. And yeah, once we're able to finalise that, while we are still waiting for a couple of items to arrive, because they are being handmade exclusively for us, once they have arrived, we'll be able to, officially start packing. But we are hoping to be able to get everything and prices and all the rest of it finalised over this next week, and we are hoping to do an amazing pre-order deal as well, so stay tuned for that. We will announce that as soon as we can, but we're pretty sure you're going to like the pre-order deal that we are going to be able to do for the Advent. But yeah, once that is all a lot more finalised, I will try and focus a bit more back on things like tips and tricks, which do take a lot more preparation video time wise, and at the moment it's a cross between making sure I have the time to do the videos and get them uploaded, and that seems to be a lot of preparations and dekittings and all the rest of it seem to be able to fill that time at the moment. But I do want to get my tips and tricks finished off, finish working through my list and get it to 100 is my aim. It's always easy at the beginning, isn't it? It's always the last bit that's that little bit harder. Tina, she says she really enjoyed my company this evening. She said she was feeling very blur. Oh, I know that feeling. I think we all get that every now and then. She said, but you helped me to do a section of a custom which she's got of her family, which lifted her spirits. She says, thank you so much, and she hopes that my breakaway was wonderful. Thank you. Yes, the breakaway was fantastic. Sunday I did feel like I had a bit more energy. Saturday I just didn't. It just took, you know, I got the bare minimum done and left it at that on Sunday. On Saturday. But I definitely got a little bit more energy back on Sunday. And then as I'm filming this today, Monday has been a full day as per normal. A full day from straight away from being up. Quite a few orders over the weekend, wanting to ensure they got out. And every time Megan is off for half term, we often have a list of things that we want to get done and sorted and implemented in the shop. Sometimes I don't get a chance to do all of them, and sometimes they're things that Megan tends to do more so than me. She's a lot quicker at doing the listings on the website and stuff, so I take the pictures and then we sort of do the listings a little bit together, but mainly Megan. So yeah, we've spent quite a bit of today getting that sorted. I think she's currently watching the dog and working on getting the new Paint Gem mini sets up onto the site. Somebody very kindly sent us pictures of the backs of the boxes, which is often what I'm waiting for, is the back of the box. Somebody who's already ordered the new ones very kindly sent me the picture of the back of the box so that we could get the stickers and things ready. So they'll be ready. Well, they'll be up on the site soon, but they'll be there for launch. If you want to combine anything, you will have that option. Wondrous Natures says, love your paintings. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love this one. I really don't mind all the white. I'm quite enjoying it. It gives me a chance to waffle without changing things up all the time. It's definitely quicker using the trays though, I will say. It's definitely quicker having the colours on the trays already, especially when it comes to filling in all the bits after the white's been done. It goes speedy quick. Deb says she loves the purples on the ribbon and she said it's gonna look great. Thank you. I think it is going to be a nice one. I'm a lover of Splatterworks paintings anyway, so it was not going to be hard with me at all. Brenda, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, happy June waffle. She says, for this June, she has decided to work on ongoing whips. She has two 30 by 40 paintings, a 20 by 20 square, and the two 30 by 40s are round paintings. She has a 20 by 20 square and a 40 by 50 square ongoing, as well as two card sets. Now, you're somebody that does sound like they need a tidy up and a clear out and a finishing of those whips so that you can move on. She says she's hoping to finish at least 3 of her paintings during June. Also, she says she loves her beige zesty tray. It's pretty much, she said, the only tray she's used since she got it. I do go through phases of a favourite, I must admit. I'm using the purple quite a bit at the moment. It's just been handy but yeah, I definitely go through phases of what is my favourite. I normally end up back on the pink eventually. She says for very similar beige drills, she does grab her Advent two-tone tray. And for big colour blocks, she uses the peach Add More Zest tray, which is actually this one. It's the one that I use for number 3, is the peach one. It's a nice light colour, that one as well. Every now and then, I do like a bright colour, depending on the painting. I often use bright colours when I'm doing the Splatterworks painting because of the so much white. it's nice to have some brighter colours used. But I do often go back to sort of a paler pastel-y colour for standard paintings. It's just what I gravitate towards. We're all different. She says multi-placing is not really her thing. She said she can do it with rounds, but she's too much of a perfectionist, which is my problem. She said she can't stand the lines being off, so she is just faster if she single places. That's why a lot of the time I do go to single place, because I find I can do it primarily straighter. Sarah B, she said June Waffle is here. She said, but she is in big trouble. She says she imagines that the 1st of June was my slowest day because I had to load up my trays. She said, and she finished quite a bit after the video did. I can't remember exactly how long the 1st of June's waffle was, but I do know that there are definitely some longer ones and some shorter ones so far. She said hopefully she hasn't chosen too large of a painting. She says great video as always, Rebecca, thank you. Well, you're welcome, and thank you for joining me throughout the waffle. I am a fairly quick diamond painter. I do have my moments. I say there are definitely some videos that I've taken longer. And I know in myself that I've not diamond painted as fast as I could. Just due to the nature of the day, sometimes the time of the day. I also know I am actually faster when I work on an easel. So it might be a good thing that I am working flat on the desk. Especially as I'm getting further up the section now. I feel like I'm slowing down the higher up I go. But having said that, I am doing a lot of white. And I do think that filling in these gaps will be rather speedy today. Cassidy says, hi Rebecca. She says, how did you hear about diamond painting? She says she loves my videos. They're very resourceful. Thank you, Cassidy. Say all of my, if you are new to diamond painting or new to my channel, I have been diamond painting for years, nearly 5 years, I think it's been. And I do have many videos comparing things, tips and tricks. I've done comparisons in relation to the size of a diamond painting. I've done comparisons on custom diamond paintings. I've done quite a few different sort of more educational videos, as well as, you know, preparations and kitting up some waffles and all the sort of normal stuff that I do as well. And if you go to my website addmorezest.com, there is a section called videos, and in there is different categories. So what to do if you don't have a DMC number, how I've organised my spares, all the sort of more educational videos than the general ones are all in there so that you can find them. Because sometimes finding them on YouTube is not as easy. So whether you're new to my channel or new to diamond painting, go and check that out. They are all on YouTube, and my website does take you to YouTube to watch them. It's just I can reference them easier and lay them out easier so that you can understand what the video's actually about. My website gives me the ability to do that a lot better. It's actually the reason I started a website. The shop came later, is to be able to group my videos and the educational videos in a way that makes sense. But how did I hear about diamond painting? First, I think the first I saw of it was a Facebook advert that sort of made me think, ooh, wonder what that is. But I must admit, I don't tend to buy from Facebook ads. I may go and find a particular site. So like I have seen Dreamers Designs advertising on Facebook and things like that. I would then go direct to the site. It's just the way I'm built. But yeah, so I spotted it on there, which sort of started spiking my interest. And then I saw a scrapbooker that I followed doing or unboxing their first diamond painting and doing a little bit of it. And it was actually sort of seeing the full diamond painting that made me go, oh, yes, I want to do that. So off I went and purchased myself my first diamond painting. I think it was just from Amazon because they're quick and I was impatient and I wanted to try it. And yeah, the rest they can say is history. I have since done diamond paintings that are from the cheap sites and the more expensive sites, and I enjoy them for different reasons. One can save your pocket. One can be just that, slightly more enjoyable. Yeah, it's like treating yourself to, I don't know, something from Marks and Spencer's compared to the standard shop's own bought thing. It's just, it's a little bit nicer. Getting a high-end diamond painting, but doing a cheaper diamond painting is still enjoyable in itself. I love doing both, and I like mixing them up as to what I'm doing. So yeah, I've just actually thought, as I've been saying that, and as I was talking about the giveaways earlier and the fact that I have 7, minimum of 7, like I might be doing more. I've just realised there's definitely 2 more things that I wanted to do as giveaways, so that's already going up to 9. Oh, they're fun. The fun of lots of giveaways. Ina, she said she loves the fact that she could watch this video and paint at the same time. She says there are so many days that she is too tired to paint at all. She says perhaps it helped. She says that she has nearly finished her biggest painting, which is 120 by 80 centimetres. She says she has only 9 by 80 centimetres to do to get it finished. That is a good achievement. That is a really good motivation, Ina. If you're on sort of that last row of a really big painting, I find that's the quickest I diamond paint anything. She says before she started it, she said she did learnt to use the number 4 multiplacer. She said when starting a section on the edge, so on one of the edges, she places a plastic card to make sure that her lines are straight. She said she places the drills in both ways with a multiplacer, depending on how it needs the most drills placing at once. She says for that little section. She said her painting is confetti heavy, and when she's doing it, she doesn't turn her tray because she does it both ways. She just turns the pen in her hand. Yeah, that's one thing I need to sort of get into. I have gone hunting for angled multi-placers. Somebody mentioned it the other day. I have gone hunting with our supplier, and I can find it in some sizes but not in them all. So we might look at stocking the few sizes. They don't seem as available in like the 4-placer. It seems to be in the more popular 3 and 6 placers. But yeah, we might look at getting some of those. We do need to place an order with that supplier soon, ready for upcoming launches. So we might see if we can get some angled ones in for those that do want to give those a try. I don't know how well it'll work on an easel, but it's worth it. It's worth a punt. Tracy, she says she single places along the edge to get her straight line, she says, and then it goes into confetti on each section, she says, where there is some multi-placing to be done, and she'll use her 4-placer on her Josephine Wall Starship. The Josephine Wall paintings have a lot of colours, don't they? That's one that, to be honest, as a new multi-placer, I probably just wouldn't even go there. Wouldn't even go attempting to multi-place in a Josephine Wall. I know when the restocks are on for the Diamond Art Studios that are over 190 colours, I don't think I'll even attempt to multi-place for those, but I am looking forward to doing a confetti heavy painting. Right, I'm just peeling this top part back because, of course, where I've cut it, it's just a little bit short of that second row. So I've decided to make this top row quicker so that I'm not peeling this back for as long. So I've just got 2 rows left rather than splitting it into 2 sections of 3 when I was in this last top part. I decided to still do a section of 4 with my steps and then leave 2 and fill in the rest of this white. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's coming to the party quite late as she's had a very busy day at work and she didn't get home until 9 o'clock. Heck, I think I'm winding down by then. Nearly ready for bed. Though I do have a dog that wakes us up earlier. She said she didn't get any diamond painting done as she was too shattered. She says, but she will be sure to catch up tomorrow as she's on a shorter day. I definitely have days like that. Megan and I were doing some shop stuff yesterday evening. And I think we finished, it was only about 8 o'clock I think we finished. Maybe 7:30 probably by the time we'd finished chatting. And I was like, no, I haven't got the energy to diamond paint. I just thought, I nearly did a little paint gem mini, but then I just got caught up browsing stuff. Browsing trivia stuff on my phone and just, you know, a mixture of reading posts and watching short video clips that I shouldn't have probably even clicked on. And whiled away an hour and decided to go and have a bath. So I didn't diamond paint last night either. Hopefully I'll be able to get some done tonight because we've got quite a bit done through the day today. Lady Dax, she says pie mash and liquor, which is green gravy, to non-Londoners, because Londoners like to rename everything or make it into Cockney slang. she says it's a traditional East End meal. So it's a traditional East End London meal. She says Google cock's pie and mash to see cook's pie, and mash. Oh, you were making me think of cock's pie then, which is bacon and cheese and onion in a pie. Amazing. She says, hoping that I will see this comment, she says, as she thinks a few of hers may have got lost somewhere. She says, great first June waffle. Well, yes, I've spotted that comment. I know there has been a couple of comments of yours, Lady Dax. There was one when I said that YouTube was making comments disappear, like comments that I normally press a button to say read more were disappearing, and there was just nothing there for me to start reading, nothing for me to click read more. So that I know there definitely was at least one of your comments that I replied as though I'd answered, or I gave it a little heart, but I couldn't actually read it. It then took me a waffle or two to realise that I could actually click on the video. So from my little comments list, I had to actually click on the video and then it would let me read your comment. So there may have been one or two lost before I realised how I could actually read comments I wanted to. And I know there's been a couple of your comments that I have clicked on to read since then, but hopefully I've now got them all. I do routinely check the spam folder on YouTube, because every now and then that gets a little bit temperamental. But the whole glitch with comments actually seems to have disappeared. And maybe I should find some wood to touch, but it does seem to have sorted itself out. Actually, since June Waffle started, I don't think I've had to open up any videos to read something. But it was definitely still broke last week. So I do apologise, but hopefully they will now all come through and I will be able to see them all. And they'll have fixed their problem. Vanessa, she says, hi Rebecca. She said she loves this painting. She is currently at home with COVID. Ooh. She says, so she decided to start on her very first large canvas. She also says she has huge sections of white, which she thought was so scary. She said she ended up watching a few of my videos to see how I set up a large canvas, and she's happy to say that she has finished a complete row of sections. She said she can't wait to see how the painting turns out. Thank you. Large ones aren't as bad, you just need to not see it as large. If large paintings scare you, then just see it as each section. Because all this painting is, which isn't, you know, a large one, but this is two 30 by 40s. And if you break it down into how many 30 by 40s, and just realise that it is going to take you a little bit longer, then it shouldn't be anywhere near as bad. But hey, this is why you guys are getting a longer June waffle, because I'm doing two 30 by 40s in one, though my decision maker seems to like this half of the 30 by 40 at the moment. But anyway, that is today's section done, which is down in the 30s. Hopefully it will go a little bit further up. Maybe we'll get the top part finished at some point, who knows. But thank you all so much for joining me for today's waffle. I hope you're absolutely loving getting your projects done, and I will speak to you all tomorrow.